Fresh off the success of the Xbox 360, Microsoft seemed primed to build on its momentum with its next console, the Xbox One. Unfortunately, they completely bungled the launch. It felt more about TV, movies, and an always-online console than delivering the great games we remember from the 360 days. That being said, the Xbox One wasn't as bad a console as you may believe, and it was filled with plenty of great games to boot. We're talking games packed with replayability that made you actually excited to say, Xbox, turn on, and Xbox, go to. Okay, maybe after the first few months we were over the Kinect voice activation, but the point still stands. There are plenty of Xbox One games packed with high replay value. Here are the very best. Forza Horizon 4's biggest selling point, the changing of seasons, is what makes it such a replayable racing game. Over the years, the Horizon series has become the superior game compared to the Motorsport franchise, and one reason for that has been its depth and variety. By constantly changing the seasons in Forza Horizon 4, things always feel fresh, no matter how often you're racing on the same tracks or driving by the same locations. Watching how everything handles in the spring and summer compared to the winter had me constantly tinkering with which cars I'd use for events. I'd have to relearn tracks I thought I mastered, keeping me on my toes as I progressed through the game. Combined with the already replayable structure of the open-world environment that exists within the Forza Horizon series, I was hooked. I happily lost hundreds of hours of my life to Forza Horizon 4, and I'd gladly do it again if given the opportunity. We still talk about you, Titanfall 2. The first Titanfall felt less like a full-fledged game and more like a proof of concept when it released during the Xbox One's launch window. It wasn't perfect, but it offered the same fast-paced gameplay that made me fall in love with the Infinity Ward Call of Duty games. A few years later, we get the sequel that delivers what we were all wanting, a surprisingly fun, albeit short, single-player campaign alongside a vast improved multiplayer experience. Most importantly of all, Titanfall 2 addressed the shortcomings of its predecessor's multiplayer design. Not only did playing as Titans feel much improved and incredibly fun, but even if you weren't in a Titan, it still felt like you had a massive impact on a match. It resulted in a collaborative, team-first environment during multiplayer, where everyone had to work together to achieve victory. There's nothing quite like it, even if Apex Legends scratches that itch for some. Even though Grand Theft Auto 5 looks incredible on the Xbox One hardware, it's still an Xbox 360 game, so I talked about it there. Don't worry, Rockstar fans, because there's still plenty of replayability here. It just takes place in the Old West. Red Dead Redemption 2 is best described in one word: cinema. Its storytelling and character depth remain Rockstar's magnum opus, and few games can touch them here. Best of all, its open world doesn't feel as padded or bloated as its contemporaries. There's so much to see and do and explore, whether you're completing achievements, wanting to sit down and play some cards, or even just going for a peaceful stroll through the wilderness. Red Dead Redemption 2 delivers the best of both worlds, a strong, gripping narrative that holds up over multiple playthroughs, and enough side content to keep you busy for hundreds of hours.
Is Doom Eternal the better game? I'd say so. It offers a deeper campaign and more content. Is it more replayable than the 2016 Doom Reboot brew? That's where I beg to differ. Yes, Doom 2016 is a simpler game that offers a back-to-basics approach the franchise desperately needed. But that's what I love about it. That's why I keep coming back to it over Doom Eternal. There's no massive campaign, extra features, or expanded gameplay. It's just fast-paced gameplay where you shoot first and ask questions never. Sometimes you don't need depth to make a game replayable. There's no need for new story options, new ways to build your character, or anything of the sort. There's a reason why I still play the original Doom all these years later. It's just fun to shoot things. That's what Doom 2016 understood, and that's why it's one of the games I keep coming back to the most on Xbox One.
Before blowing us away with Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red was hard at work adapting the Witcher novels into video game form.
The franchise's first two entries were solid, but it's the series' third game that broke through. What makes The Witcher 3 so great is that no two playthroughs are alike, no matter how many times you've played it. It's a deep RPG, so you can make different decisions through your playthrough. You can be the good guy, the bad guy, romance different people, lock in different ends. Standard RPG stuff thus far. There's one thing that puts Witcher 3 over the top, and it's Gwent. While you can play Gwent as a standalone game, it also serves as an excellent in-game time waster. It's also the perfect pair-up. You get to play Gwent while playing The Witcher 3. Win-win. Say what you want about Fallout 4, but there's a reason why I keep coming back to it all these years later. Does it have the same euphoria of exploring Fallout 3's Capital Wasteland? Not quite. Is it as strong of an RPG experience with incredible storytelling like in New Vegas? Unfortunately, no. Yet despite that, there's something about Fallout 4 that makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. It gives me just enough to scratch both my shooter and RPG itch. As much as I love jank in my RPG experiences, looking at you, Oblivion, there's something about the gameplay of Fallout 4 that just feels right. It's not perfect, and it suffers the same shortcomings as other Bethesda RPGs, but Fallout 4 is the one where everything just feels right. Its main story is compelling enough to keep you interested through multiple playthroughs, and its side content is strong and enjoyable enough that it makes you want to see everything that awaits within the Commonwealth. Plus, as someone who grew up in the Boston area, it's nice to see my hometown in video game form, even if it's been blown to smithereens by nuclear weapons. If I dared suggest that Battlefront 2 was not just a good game back in 2017, but highly replayable, I might have been burned at the stake. Despite its notoriously poor launch, Battlefront 2 has enjoyed a shocking resurgence as of late. For me, the light came on when the Battlefront Classic Collection was released and ultimately underwhelmed me. Out of curiosity, I wanted to see how the modern Battlefront 2 was faring, especially since it was on Xbox Game Pass. I booted up a game, hopped online, and took part in a couple of matches. Then I realized several hours had passed by. DICE's Battlefront games have always delivered that authentic Star Wars look and feel, but with their tweaks over the years, it feels like a fully realized vision of what this game was always supposed to be. Starfighter Assault is as much fun today as it was at launch, and taking part in its more traditional modes feels better than ever. I know there's a lot of demand for Battlefront 3, but in the meantime, I'm more than content to keep playing Battlefront 2. Like many, Monster Hunter World was my introduction to the franchise. I had no idea what to expect other than that I'd be hunting monsters and taking part in boss battles that last an eternity. It didn't take long to see why these games were so iconic and beloved. There's something about the hunting process that feels satisfying. The prep work, the tracking, and the recon, building the anticipation, the moment you spot your target, and the thrill of combat. Monster Hunter World brings the Monster Hunter experience to a larger scale. It's not quite a true open world, but these massive areas do a great job of making the game feel larger than it actually is. The replayability of Monster Hunter World comes not from its depth, but from the variety of weapons available, each feeling different from the others. It means you can experiment with different playstyles on subsequent playthroughs, helping keep things fresh, even after spending hundreds of hours with the game. Sadly, I don't think we'll ever see Titanfall 3. However, its spirit lives on through Respawn's Battle Royale, Apex Legends. There are no larger-than-life titans roaming the battlefield, but the same fast-paced combat Respawn is known for is alive and well. Unsurprisingly, it translates well to the Battle Royale genre. Respawn has always nailed gunplay and the pace of combat, and that's what helps Apex Legends stand out compared to its peers, especially PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. One other thing Apex Legends does to stand out, not just in the genre, but in multiplayer gaming as a whole, is its ping system. Rather than relying on voice chat with strangers, which almost never works, Apex Legends' ping system is an in-game non-verbal communication system that is far more robust than the bare-bones experience we're used to. The communications are clear, concise, and easy to relate to others, helping to work better together with strangers. Unsurprisingly, this leads to one of the best multiplayer experiences in gaming.
Fortnite has done a great job of finding a way to remain relevant all these years later. The one thing that gets all the press today is the endless number of crossovers. Yes, the playable characters are so over the top that it puts Super Smash Bros. Ultimate to shame. Most recently came the collaboration with The Simpsons, giving players a playable Springfield to play through. Yet, despite all that, there's a reason why all of these crossovers work so well. The gameplay loop still holds up today. Like the Apex Legends, there's something timeless about the Battle Royale genre. Combined with Fortnite's embracing of pop culture, along with several ways to play the game, Fortnite OG brought the game back to its roots. You have the recipe for one of the most replayable games of all time.